Good morning. I hope you're all doing well this morning. I think we're supposed to get some storms later on today. At least that is what my head says, as well as the Weather Channel, but mostly my head. Because when the barometric pressure changes, my brain decides to explode. It is the stupidest superpower in the world, and that is taking into consideration Aquaman's fish telepathy. So, I think we're supposed to get some nasty storms around 3, but I hope where you are, you're enjoying the morning. So, let's see here. What did I do yesterday? Well, I sat outside for a long time, as you can tell by my cough, because those allergies, man, they are not letting me go. But I have so many small growing green things outside that I kind of wanted to go and sit out there for a bit. So today, let's talk a little bit about what you are expected to do. So for Honors World History today, what you guys are going to be doing is you are going to be looking at the later stages of the French Revolution. This happens to be my favorite part of the French Rev. That would be the part where they chop off everybody's heads. So today what you are looking at primarily is you are looking at the Reign of Terror and how it happened and why it is both amazing and fascinating and a terrible, terrible thing. It is a pretty fascinating period of French history. And for AP Comparative Government and Parliaments, new word, comparative politics, you guys are going to be looking at the later portions of Iranian political history. Essentially, you are looking at sort of the end of the 18th century through, you do get into the 20th century. You're getting up to about the Cold War today. So you'll be talking about the Safavids, the Qajars, and then moving into the Pahlavi dynasty. So this is the stuff that establishes Iran as a modern nation state. And it's pretty complex, but I've tried to simplify it down as much as I can. Hopefully it's not too dumbed down. I hate that phrase, but hopefully it's not too simplistic and that you can still kind of grasp some things. So you do have a discussion question when you get to the end of that. And then you are free for the day. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the Iranian Revolution of 79. Well, first we'll be talking about the attempted coup d'etat in 1953. Coffee is still very hot. I have to wait for it to cool. So we'll be talking a little bit about that to begin, and then we'll get into the Islamic Revolution, which is pretty fascinating stuff. Yeah. We won't quite... I'm trying to decide if I want to link you to... There's kind of a bootleg copy of a good documentary about the hostage crisis out there, which is pretty fascinating. And if you watch that in conjunction with, say, like Argo, which is a good movie, although fictionalized at the end, but a pretty fascinating movie. If you watch that, you'll get a pretty interesting understanding of sort of the role that the revolution played in political life in Iran. So, at any rate, that's what you guys are doing today. So, what were you guys up to yesterday? Oh, no, these are getting a bit ruined here. Let's get some more paper. Who have I got out there watching? I know somebody is. I can see you. Not really. I can see a number. That's what I can see. So, I'm trying to decide what I want to draw today while I sit here. I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about it. Yesterday, I drew a bird, and then I drew a dog. And they came out okay-ish, not great, okay. And the day before, I drew Mount Rushmore in face masks. at the request of my aunt. And now I am searching for something else to draw. I don't know. Any suggestions? I don't know. Let's see. I presume you all saw the notification about graduation. Yeah. I'm very sorry about that. I don't know what they'll plan on doing. Hopefully, we'll see some significant plans about what to do, but I'm not sure what those plans will be. Um, just be aware that we are not going to just let you slip off into the distance without some sort of celebration. I promise. Yeah. Sorry. I am responding to Mr. Moody's Instagram post that has a lot of your, whatchamacallits on there, a lot of your senior pictures. It's lovely seeing your faces there. Okay, so what shall I draw? Maybe I could do Angkor Wat, maybe. Try. Yeah, I'll give that a shot. That'll be hard. We'll give that a shot. Mhm. So if you don't know what Angkor Wat is a massive Buddhist, not Buddhist, excuse me, Hindu temple located in Cambodia. Looks like that. It is one of the artworks that you study in AP art history, and it's pretty fascinating. It's gorgeous, and I would love to go. I have never been, but it is one of those things that is on my list. Um, yeah, let's see if I can find a good shot of it. There we go. That's what I want. That will be a very difficult one to draw, but we will give it a shot. Let's see here. Okay. So here's what we're going for. We will see if we can get that. We won't. but attempts must be made. Hi there. Looks like we've got another person joined in. So how are we doing today, guys? I hope that yesterday was a pleasant one for you. I hope you did something productive. Not too productive, but, just productive enough. Okay, let's try this again. We're going to start from there. The trouble with drawing something that is very detailed is not letting yourself focus on detail initially, and instead just focus on shape. And shape is one of those things, whenever people say they can't draw, I'm always kind of baffled by that, because I don't think it's a matter of can't draw. I think rather it's a matter of people don't know how. They don't know how to start. And really, I'm pretty sure that most issues with drawing come down to issues of line. People aren't sure how to draw what they see. Instead, they're drawing what they think they see, which is something different. Instead of drawing what is actually the line, people draw what they think the line should be. And those are very, very different. So the thing when you draw, for me at least, is always to try and stop paying attention to the detail and instead just focus on line. Detail follows, or at least you can fake it. Like, I never try to draw like a tree. Like, that's not what I'm drawing. I'm drawing one line and then another line, and then eventually it kind of winds up tree-ish. That's how things happen. So Today, we are trying to draw something very complicated. It may be disastrous, but I do enjoy drawing architectural things. I find them really kind of soothing to draw, even if they're really terrible. So what I am trying to draw today, trying being the operative word, because that's all you can ever do, is a Hindu temple called Angkor Wat. Yes, it's Hindu. I was going to be like, no, it's not in India, but that I never said it was. It is in Cambodia, and it is one of the largest temple complexes in the world. And I so desperately want to go. I think it'd be amazing. I have a lot of like bucket list places I want to go in Southeast Asia. But Southeast Asia is one of those places where I really feel like I would I would love to travel with somebody who knows the languages, who knows the culture, rather than just traveling with a tour group. Because I feel like there's so much potential colonial nonsense that goes on with travel to places like that. And so I really don't, I kind of want to decolonize that as much as I can, but it's hard to do. And so I'd love to travel with somebody who is from Cambodia or from various places in South Asia who could kind of walk me through stuff. But that too is difficult to come by. I'd also love to go to India. It's also on my list. If you could travel anywhere, where would you want to go? Get a lot of places. I would love to go to Russia. I've never been. Yeah, this is where the angle changes. Ooh, that's not a straight line at all. We'll have to fudge that with some shading. I would love to go to Russia. I'd love to go to St. Petersburg. It's supposed to be quite lovely. I would very much love to go to Moscow. I have a good friend of mine who is a professor of Russian history who is a terrible polyglot, and I hate him. um, and so if I could ever travel while he and his family are there and he's studying stuff, it would be delightful to be able to kind of hang with somebody who actually knows what they're talking about in terms of language and culture. Um, I'd love to go back to China. I've been to the southern portion of China, southwestern portion of China, but I didn't spend much time in Beijing. I'd like to do a little bit more time there. And I have done almost no travel in Africa. I've been to Morocco, but I'm not entirely convinced that that truly counts as having been to Africa, because North Africa is deeply Arabized in a lot of ways, which is not a bad thing. I deeply enjoyed my experience there, but I suspect that it's significantly different from, say, sub-Saharan African culture. Rather, I don't suspect it, I know it, but I don't know it through personal experience. And I would very much like to. But again, that raises all sorts of questions, doesn't it? One always has to be cognizant of the fact that travel and tourism is hardly a neutral activity. There are always elements of colonialism and imperialism in that sort of activity. And I'm very reluctant to be sort of like a poverty tourist. That's not what I want. But there are so many beautiful places in the world, and I would love to see them. It should go up a little bit more. We're going to have to do a lot of fudging with regards to shading on this one to make it passable. That's okay. I feel like Bob Ross here, just happy little accidents. Whew. Okay. Hey, Kamaya, it is lonely today. You woke up at 7? Oh my goodness. You are on a roll. Yesterday, what, you woke up at about 6? I'm so proud of you. Good job, girl. But yes, it is lonely today. I don't know. Have you guys decided that you're pretty much done with doing chats? Is that the issue? It's okay if you are. I just want to be here just in case you need me. But I know that everybody's kind of hitting a bit of a wall, and I understand, especially in terms of motivation, right? I've gotten a couple of emails from you guys apologizing for your lack of engagement. And, I can't throw stones. It's really hard, isn't it? You try to pop in every now and then. I appreciate it, my dear. I know a lot of people would, I've wondered, should I be doing Zooms or not? But I do a lot of Zooms. Like, not with you guys, but I do a lot of Zooms. And Zooms are just, for me, they're exhausting because you can never just be off on a Zoom. Somebody might be talking, you have to pay attention. And I really don't necessarily want this to be something where you feel like you have to engage where you can just put it on in the background. And if you have something you want to say, you can jump in. And I also kind of prefer the notion that you guys don't have to show your face. I don't want you to feel like you need to do that. But that's a me thing. I don't know that that's something that everybody feels the same about. Let's see here. Okay. Now we're getting into shape. So like I was saying earlier, yeah, drawing is, for me, it's about reductive shape and looking for spots of darkness and light. I very, very much prefer sketching over finished drawings because I can be sloppier, but also because I think there's something really interesting about what sketching does to the eye. I think what you have to do is kind of see past the image you're drawing, which sounds so dumb. It sounds really stupid when I put it like that, but it really is. It's trying to see just like what the general shapes are and how the general shapes kind of lay out. And then reducing that down to the simplest version of it. That arrow should get steeper. Okay. It's getting slightly better. You love Zoom? You love doing them with your church group? Yeah, I find them exhausting because you have to constantly be engaged in the screen, right? You have to be looking at it, and it just wears me out. It really does. So I'm not sure how many of them I want to do. I will do some Zooms before the AP exam. I will do a few, and give you guys a chance to kind of personally connect and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't. I get mixed feelings about it. I also, it puts people on the spot. Like, hey, give me a window into your home life. Like, I don't need to. You guys deserve some. I don't know how much privacy you want right now because we're kind of have enforced privacy, but you do deserve to have the right to privacy if you want it. And so I don't necessarily feel like I have a right to insist that you like engage on Zoom conference calls all the time, that you show everything. And it might just be because you miss human interaction. You and me both, kid. Like, I very much enjoy living alone usually. I really do. It's kind of, I find it very peaceful. But there's a difference between living alone because you choose to live alone and not being able to see other humans. There is definitely that. Okay. All right, we are getting the shape of this baby down. Okay. So Kamaya, here is what I am attempting to draw. Oop, phone is going dark on me. There we go. That is what we're going for. We will see. Right now, it looks nothing like that. But we will try. Yeah. What is life if not to, what is it? It is a Hindu temple in Cambodia. It's a place called Angkor Wat. I desperately want to go there. I think Miss Corcoran has been, not sure, but she and her husband traveled to Southeast Asia. She and her husband travel so much, man. I get so jealous when I see their photographs. Like, wow, that's amazing. But yeah, she and her husband travel quite a lot, and I know they've traveled fairly frequently to Southeast Asia. And yeah, man, I'd love to go. But it's a medieval Hindu temple in Southeast Asia, in Cambodia. And it's gorgeous. And it's, have you ever seen the Disney version of The Jungle Book? The animated one? If you have, there's a portion of the movie where they're in the monkey temple. Hey, Alani, how are you, my dear? Oh, you're making gift baskets for your neighbors? Oh, that's so sweet. What a nice thing to do for your neighbors. Ah, that's lovely. How lucky your neighbors are to have such nice people living next to them. And it gives you a project, right? Everybody needs a project right now. You're doing well, Alani? Good. Good, 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 good. You don't have any drawing to do today, right? Because you finished everything? No Pop-Tarts beating people up this time? I had a friend of mine yesterday who I was texting with, and he responded and said, "You know what I just realized?" And I said, "What?" He said, "I just realized you're supposed to toast Pop-Tarts." And I was astounded. I don't know what he's been doing for the past 20 odd years of his life. How did he miss that you're supposed to toast Pop-Tarts? That's why they're called Pop-Tarts, right? They pop out of the toaster. I was kind of appalled and yet very excited for him because now he gets to experience the deliciousness of a toasted Pop-Tart. However, how did he miss that? That's so strange. You're going to make some loaves to send out with some letters for friends. That's very sweet. Oh, I love that. You have never toasted your Pop-Tarts? Kamaya. Kamaya, you're missing out, my dear. That's the whole point. That is the whole point. That's what you're supposed to do with them. It's so much work. What do you put it in a toaster, you hit the button, you wait until it dings, and then you eat them, and they're good. I mean, for terrible food, it's good. The best one, undoubtedly, are the brown sugar ones. Those are the best. You just grab and munch. Well, I mean, like, I understand when you're hungry and everything, but if you have time, which let's face it, you have plenty of time right now, you should not just be grabbing and munching. You should be enjoying them as the fine cuisine that they are. So what else are you guys up to today? Anything else? Got a lot of work in other classes or no? Let's see here. I've got to work quite late tonight because there is a, whatchamacallit, uh, my words have gone. There's a webinar that I have to do for College Board to kind of learn a little bit more about what the exam's going to look like for you guys. And so as soon as I know, I'll be sending an email and everything out to your parents and giving you guys a little bit more information. You don't feel super motivated? Neither do I, kid. Yesterday, I was very slow in getting your work for today done. Usually, I'm done with the work that I need to do in terms of stuff for you guys by about 5 or so. Yesterday, it took me until about 9 p.m. Just couldn't make myself sit down and do it. But I got it done. Because if I don't get it done, you ain't got work. And you have to have work. You woke up, made breakfast, you're almost done with Gov, and then you'll do some physics. Yeah. Do you kind of understand Iranian history a little bit? Maybe, possibly. It's hard for me to judge. The Iranian history is one of those areas that I know Americans don't have a really strong background on. So it's hard for me to tell if I'm explaining it in a way that you guys can get, or if I'm oversimplifying it, or what I'm doing. You don't want to. I understand, Kamai, I really do. I think that's how a lot of us feel right now. I don't want to. Okay. So what I am doing right now, I know it's not even pretty out, and tomorrow, or not tomorrow, and later on today, it's supposed to get worse. We're supposed to have some pretty nasty little storms come through. But I do like storms. I don't know if you guys do. All right. So what we are doing right now is we are adding in the dark areas on this. See, not very good right now. It doesn't look much like it, but it doesn't have to. That's what shading and faking it later on is for. Yeah? You're not a fan of storms? Oh, I really enjoy them. I love them. They make me very happy. Okay. It may look cool right now, Kamaya, but it doesn't look like much. So I don't know if this is how you do stuff, Alani, but I go for dark shapes first is kind of how I do stuff. I go for contour lines and dark shapes, and then I work from there. You like rain by yourself? Lightning and thunder is a no-go? Does it frighten you, or do you just it just makes you unhappy? I find it really like soothing, but that's just me. But the problem is that as I've gotten older, I get barometric pressure headaches. So when the barometric pressure changes, my brain just explodes, which is so not fun. And so even though I love storms, they're really no fun anymore because my head explodes every time we get them. It's uncomfy. Well, you'll be fine. Storm's not coming for you. It doesn't matter though. Yeah. I'm just glad that the storms today are not coming through in the middle of the night. That I do not like. Yeah. Middle of the night storms are the worst because then I have to turn on all my notifications really loud because not that I'm not a heavy sleeper. I'm a really light sleeper. Um so I'll I wake up with everything. So um but I'm paranoid about sleeping through really bad weather alerts and missing like an alert to, you know, get into shelter in place mode and all of that sort of stuff. Like that scares me. I don't like that idea at all. Okay. And then you thought that you'd try some bullet journal supplies? Very nice. I have to admit, I really don't get the bullet journal thing, but you know, I am a fan of journaling in general. So whatever makes people happy and feel content and find some sort of rhythm and way of record keeping is good by me. I know Maddie Sullivan is super into it. She's been um, buying a lot of stickers, is what she told me, for her journal. So, what do you plan on journaling? Is there something in particular that you're trying to kind of record, or is it just, you know, to give yourself some sort of daily ritual? Just something to do? Hey, it's a wise choice, lady. Okay. Now we get into the part where 90% of what I'm doing is faking it. If you fake it in the right way, it makes people think they see stuff that isn't actually there. Art is cool. I do enjoy when people are like, "Oh, you're very good." No, I'm not. I'm just faking it. You fake it enough, and people forget that they're not really seeing what they think they're seeing. all of a sudden starts to look like I'm planning it. I am not planning it. This is very improvised. Okay. Okay. At any rate, Kamaya, I think I started saying something at a while back, but I know I got a bit distracted. But if you've ever seen the old Disney version of The Jungle Book, the animated one, there's the scene at the Monkey Temple, and the Monkey Temple is broadly based on Angkor Wat. Even though the Jungle Book is obviously set in India and not in Cambodia, but it broadly, stylistically, looks an awful lot like Angkor Wat. Um, and it's really cool because they didn't just build a temple out of stone and move it and quarry it and things like that. They also kind of built the temple into existing stone structure, into existing stone. And so there's all this really beautiful kind of living stone effect throughout the temple, which is really awesome. Okay. This kind of goes like that. Hmm. Okay. Slowly taking shape. We're going to pretend like this is intentional. By the end, it may even be. Who knows? Okay. Mhm. Okay. Oh, okay. Better? Worse? Can't tell. Who knows? You might make yourself, it could go pero, it could go but. My Spanish isn't perfect, but do you mean peor? I mean, I'm never going to, tell you not to make coffee. I mean, hopefully you guys realize that, like, I am a massive coffee addict at this point. Typo, oh man, oh my. Your phone hates you sometimes. My problem is that I have been doing, it's not a problem, it's a good thing. I've been doing an awful lot of Duolingo right now, in Spanish just as a review, and then Portuguese to try and get myself to where I should be on that. Um, and now my phone keeps wanting to autocorrect in multiple languages, which is nice, I suppose, but not everything has a tilde. Okay. I'm considering starting French too. I have no real reason for it. I just need a project. That might be an after school is over sort of thing. Because for me, school is important because it keeps my brain busy. Because when my brain isn't busy, it gets stupid and it does dumb things. And my anxiety goes through the roof. So it's more helpful if I have things to do. So I may pick up trying to do some work on French just to give myself something to do. I mean, what else am I going to do with my time, right? It's not terrible, but that's wrong. Ah, okay. There we go. But that should be darker then. All right. Next pen. So what I always do is I start with the dark pens first, the ones that have the largest tip to it, like that, which is more like a marker. And I use those to fill in the darkest areas. Then I move to a medium tip. And then I switch. Really, I prefer this one, but the tip of it is broken and it won't work anymore. I keep meaning to throw it away and then I never do. That one's way too small. That's about right. So then I move to this thin. So you start kind of like big details and then you move to smaller, right? So there you go. That's what we got so far. Now it's starting to look like I meant to do that. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that. Okay. This side needs to be done. Why did I skip that? That's better. I mean, don't actually try to see if architecturally it would stand up. It wouldn't. uh, let's see if I can fake it. There's a couple of places where like I totally goofed on perspective and it does not make sense the way it is. Like it would not, like the pillars don't work like that. It's like an MC Escher drawing. But what you gonna do? Okay. Well, I think that might be it on that one. I don't want to just keep adding in for the sake of adding in. What do you think? You want to delete your current households and start all over on Sims 4? Cool. What would you like them to do? You going to go and play God and see if you can ruin their poor little Sim lives? You're so mean to them. And Kamaya, you saw it when it started. It was pretty bad. It's not terrible now. It's not great. It's better than I thought it would come out. So what would you like to make all of your Sims do? All right, since I'm done with Angkor Wat, give me something simple to draw, an object or something like that, and I will try to do it real quick. You're not sure what you want to do with them yet? You just don't want to control so many households? It's more fun when you when you just like focus in on like one house, right? And you make it kind of like, I always think it's fun to take like fictional characters from books or movies or whatever and give them various characteristics and then see what happens if you put them into different things. So like you kind of create characters that are sort of like avatars for people in like, I don't know, Star Wars or whatever, and then you add it in with people from like Star Trek and see what happens. I think that's always really fun. You're like, Kirk does not like these people. Draw a melting candle. Okay. Candle. Candlestick. Yeah. I will give it a shot. Okay. Okay. I may have done myself in by trying to draw a really complicated candlestick. It's not that complicated. It's just a lot of weird shapes. Yeah? a very fun candlestick. I very much like it. And it had this really, when I bought it, it had this really cool handmade beeswax candle in it. And it was really beautiful. And then within a grand total of like me owning the candle for, you know, half an hour, I got home and the dog chewed the candle up. Because the dog is a jerk. Cute jerk, but a jerk. He was like, I like beeswax. It smells good. And then he ate my candle. And I was really annoyed. He did not understand why I was so upset. To be fair, he is a dog. Okay. Cylinders are hard, man. You chose more wisely than you know in terms of technicalities. Okay. 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 There we go. Here's the real one. Candlestick. It's pretty seriously heavy, man. It's iron. It's like made by a blacksmith. So you could brain somebody with this pretty easily. So at any rate, candlestick, melting candle, per your instructions. Version of it. Very quick. But there you go. All right, guys. It is almost noon. And I didn't get a chance to eat breakfast this morning because I had a meeting almost immediately when I woke up. So I'm going to let you guys go and I'll check in with you tomorrow. Okay. I may send out an email later on tonight to your parents. Otherwise, it'll come out tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning about whatever I learn in terms of the AP exam. And I'll probably send a notice to you guys via the blog. Okay. So have a good day. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.